All right, 5 minutes is going by, and now let's get it going. Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor. And today is a special day. I've come to weapon tap on your head with another ADH wealth solution. Today, I've got a very special guest with me, Mr. Aaron LLewellyn of the Congurus. So he is a wonderful real estate agent and property manager, wealth manager, accountant. He wears multiple hats. But today, what we're going to talk about is a little bit, I want to start a series where, as a financial professional, I bring other financial professionals and professionals from other fields so we can talk to you from the perspective of an African American, right? Specifically, African American males, because a lot of the followers in my space are African American males. And that's basically what I want to focus on so that we can create the generational wealth that we continually spew about. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up a great friend and colleague of mine, Mr. Aaron LLewellyn of the Congurus. How are you today there, good brother? You're muted, by the way. He may have went to go make a sandwich. So, are you there?
Oh, 1 second. No, I'm getting this. I'm getting this technology.
He's getting the technology out the way.
Yeah, I am.
Miss Polly, how's it going? And hey, Just Ashar, how you doing? So what I'll do is, while I'm waiting for you to get your technical difficulties right, I'm gonna go back with my song and play this in the background for us because it's some good background sound, right? And the fellas from this space definitely know this song. See, this is about getting your grown man on. R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels, right? So what did Kevin Samuels say? He wasn't really too worried about going back and forth with these women. What did he say to me when I called into his show? I told him, listen, I got some of the 6 tenements of a high value man. I'm valuable to the group. I carry myself in a certain way, all that. But I didn't have my paper right. I wasn't making at least $10,000 a month every month for at least 3 years straight. You know what he said to me? Hey, homeboy, you high value homeless. Get off my line. Click. So fellas, let's stop belly aching about these women. Let's stop being high value homeless, and let's really get into it on for real, for real. Mr. Llewellyn, let's first off tell us about why you and I were having this conversation behind the scenes on multi-million-dollar properties in New York City. And we were talking about the banks. And then I mentioned some things to you as why we're better than a bank. So first, before I start asking you those questions about your business and interviewing you, can we kind of lay out to the people what even is a bank?
Well,
out you froze.
Let me know if you can hear
and
me.
You're
first.
unfroze.
Tell me if you can hear me first.
No problem.
Yeah.
Now you got me wanting to do my background.
That's cool. Okay. As long as everything, I'm all good. 1, 2. You can hear me.
Perfect.
All right. So, from my experience, you know, from what I've been hearing and what I've been in business completely as a financial professional, a bank is simply someone who knows money better than you. That's it. The bank is just simply someone who understands the avenues, the lanes, the details, and the systems that money is not only generated, but it's also resold. I'll give you that. Tell me if I need to break that down a little bit more simple.
Let's break that down a little simpler for the folks. Break it down for the folks in the back, right? What I want to do is when I speak to people, I'm not talking down to you. I'm speaking to you on the 3rd grade level. Why do I speak to people on the 3rd grade level? Because I want to make sure that we both have a clear and concise understanding, especially in the fields of work that we work in, so that both you and I, you being the client, me being the representative, have the exact same understanding. The reason I do this, I've been sued before because I had a client who didn't quite understand what was going on. She sued me for $1 million and she won. She won $410,000 out of that $1 million, or 41% of the judgment. So I now have to work the rest of my adult life to pay this woman back. Such is life. I've also got a client who put $500,000 away with me after selling his house. So, you know, we've got some things, but when we're talking big numbers like this, you know, especially in NYC, selling multi-million-dollar properties, and that's how you and I, well, we met on a different level, but, you know, we still do work together in real estate. And New York City has some of the most expensive real estate in the country.
I'll give you a call back. I'm actually in the middle of a meeting.
Okay, so
yes,
there we go. Oh, hold on. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Business never stops. The brother's getting phone calls literally as we are live. Salute to everyone who's coming in the building. Make sure, you know, let me go ahead and do this. It's Alonzo Hall here to weapon tap on your head with another ADH Wealth Solution. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or schedule a one-on-one appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. This is very important that you share because you don't want anyone left in the lurch not learning how to get our money right. So, without further ado, I'll let you continue, Mr. Llewellyn, unless you're still on the phone. He just fell off. He'll be back shortly. So, what I want to talk about is, again, what is a bank? So a bank is definitely not just a financial institution. It's a place where you can store your money, right? But while you store your money there, you're also letting them loan out your money. So how does a bank make money? Well, a bank makes money by you actually depositing. And then when you deposit your money into this financial institution, they take that money. And with that money that they've taken, they loan it out to other people. When they loan it out to other people, they earn money off of the interest of the payments. Now, here's the trick. Banks generally want people who cannot afford to pay off the loan during the terms of the loan. They like people who miss payments. So they actually like people with lower credit scores because they know with that lower credit score, they get more interest. So if I give you $1 and I give you 4% interest, you have to work for that dollar to earn $1.04 to give me my money back and pay me $1.04. But if you got worse credit and I charge you 19%, now you have to work to earn $1.19 to pay me back that $1.19 that I'm charging. So those are a couple of ways that banks actually make their money. Mr. LeLewellyn, you don't have to come on camera if you don't want to. If that's because I know StreamYard takes a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, it's been destroying me. I've been trying to keep up. Am I clear?
Yeah, you're completely clear. So see, like I just have my camera on because I'm vain, and I like to be seen.
You're fantastic. Trust me. I've done what I could regarding to this camera, but let me give it another try so we can keep up.
Yeah. So he says, hey, we will let you store your money here at a limited balance. Me, I'm good. I have life insurance. Wiley knows a couple of the tricks of the trade there. So life insurance and physical real estate, right? So we talk about estate, right? And then we talk about real estate. So those are two things that are kind of the same side or different sides of the same coin, right? And I'm also going to be pulling up a few documents here that are going to speak to that. And those are estate planning documents. Okay. Nice. Because, I definitely do estate plans as well. So let me go ahead and pause our Kevin Samuels themes here. Give me 1 second. And let's go from there. And he says, don't forget, representation is key to a sale. Isn't that true? So
absolutely. As is presentation, sir.
Yes. Definitely presentation. And I'm loving the long locks, man. I wish I could grow my beard like yours, man. And even the hair, I got the short stuff, man. I got my little my little bit. I might have to call my barber and get some Beijing going on.
Listen, we represent everyone. That's the best part about our profession. We represent everyone completely.
Exactly. So
yeah, sorry I broke up about the bank. So I apologize about that. My connection was just a little off.
That's all right. So you want to go over that one more time about the bank?
Right. So my experience is simply that the banks are just better at the system of money than the regular consumer. So the advantages that they take are simply based on the information that they have and what they're presented. Because most of my clients that I educate, they go from being regular buyers to investors. So I just know from that experience, seeing them gain more information and make better decisions, they basically almost stack up with the established institutions.
Mm-hmm.
That's from my experience. I would go Google definition or something. I don't know what to necessarily give people. That's the reality of the economy and the life that we're all living.
Well, let's do that. Let's go to Google. Yeah. And I'm going to type in definition of a bank. So, okay, this is definitely not what I was expecting when when I Googled definition of a bank. I'm gonna share with you really quickly what Google gave me in terms of definition of a bank.
No, this is
Just
gonna. I
really
know
quick.
this is gonna be funny.
So it says here the land alongside or sloping down to a river or lake, a slope, mass, or mound of a particular substance, a heap into a mass or a mound of an aircraft or vehicle, tilt or cause to tilt sideways in making a turn. Now, very
Mm.
similar to what we were talking about. A bank is a financial institution that accepts deposits from a bank and creates a demand deposit while simultaneously making loans. Lending activities can be directly performed at the bank or indirectly through capital markets. So, literally, like I said, the function of a bank is for you to basically lend them money to loan out to people, right? So you keep your money
Right.
at Chase Bank, you're lending Chase Bank the money that they need to then turn around and lend you a loan, like lend you a mortgage, right? So, like you said, Mr. Llewellyn, your
Yeah.
clients then turn around and actually become similar to the financial institution, which is why I like infinite banking or private banking with life insurance, right? But let's go a little bit deeper. Now, before we get all into the banking and why we're better than banks, I like to allow people to get a relationship with my interviewees, and you're my first of the year, so congratulations on that. Kay, what's going on, brother? I also want to bring you up here, and actually, I think I want to bring Just Ask Shar as well because I know she's a financial professional too, even though she does not run around touting it, right? But see,
Right.
I don't let people be modest. You're gonna go ahead and get that credit that you need, madam, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure
Because
that our
there's
financial
no such thing as bad publicity. Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
Big discussions. What's going on, big brother? How are you? And yes, Kay, I'd love to bring you up. And actually, big discussions, I'd like to bring you on my channel and interview you as well. I'm going to try and go that direction often with my channel. I think it's very important and very valuable. So as I go, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions in terms of, how you got into business, why you got into business, etc. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to start with question number one. And this is one that I think is very important for all businesses when they get into business, right? So the major question number one is, what is your why, or what reason did you start your business?
I can't necessarily give you the same Superman Clark Kent story of growing up in poverty and having to deal with not having or being hungry, on days that I didn't necessarily, um, you know, have the provisions or just any kind of impoverished situation. What I can give you is a poverty stricken mentality. That's what I can give you. Not being able to understand the resources around me, the environment that I was in, the personnel that I was, we call it networking nowadays. Back in the days, we just called it chilling. I come from that kind of era where there were people around us and they were giving us lessons that we couldn't interpret due to the fact that we were kind of misinformed somewhat. So, right now, my company is based on, I guess, fixing that brainwashing to a certain degree. I want to show all my clients that their dreams, aspirations in these industries that we have our expertise in, it can be accomplished with a simple effort, as well as cooperation and agreements. So my why for why we built the Congress is to not only help people manage their properties, but also help them appreciate what they don't understand is property.
Beautiful, beautiful. Um, so then my next question
Yeah.
would be, what has been or who has been your biggest supporter besides me? No, I'm just kidding. Who has
No,
been your biggest
real talk. No, real talk. Be honest. Like, you have to be honest. This platform that you're providing makes like my small business, because I could be considered as a small business because I'm not, up with the, huge companies. It makes my small business look like, the stars. That's all I can say. I'll just say the stars from now because I don't want to give out too much. But yeah, please continue.
Okay. Well, I'll shorten that particular question because I want to ask you another question, right? So this, especially in the fields we're in the realms we're in, there's a limited amount of guys who walk, talk, act, or look like us. So in that, what would you say is what's a large challenge that you're facing in your business?
Description. I got a good friend of mine that grew up with him for a long time ago. One of his buddies that remembers me found out that I was into the industry, the finance industry as well as real estate, and they saw a picture of me, and he said, "Who is gonna buy a house from somebody that looks like that?" And I thought to myself, like, that shouldn't even matter. Like, I'm not the house. I'm just simply the expert that connects the dots between those who don't understand and those who require an understanding. You know, and he said that, I kind of had to take a step back to say, you know what? Maybe via my own personality and style is a tad bit overbearing for those who don't have the cultural perspective, if you understand that little play on words.
Understood.
So I think that's the biggest hump that I'm having. People being starstruck that someone that looks like us has the capability to function in the higher levels that they would never even imagine or dream.
Understood. Well, as you know, and as I know, prime example, especially in New York City. I don't think people realize the levels, especially being African American males. I'm unapologetic about, and I'm not hiding, the reality of the situation, right? So, like, I was at the CAFP, Conference of African American Financial Professionals, and it said only 6.7% of licensed financial advisors are Black, right? That's a small number, right? And when we look at an industry that's humongous, so there is that barrier of the description or the look. And it seems to be like from our own community, there's even more standoffishness. I've actually done my larger deals with people who don't look like me. But what I've realized is they tend to have the bandwidth to understand efficacy over emotions. And so they're like, I don't care what you look like. What can you do? So I have actually personally done deals. I don't know if you watch TV, but if you've ever watched, I think it's the A&E show, Million Dollar Listings New York. So I actually have done deals with Ryan Serhant, who is like a multi-billion-dollar producer. I went to him to the Vanderbilt and sold a property there for about $3 million. That was an apartment. And then in my own neighborhood in Brooklyn off of Herkimer Street, right, between Atlantic Avenue and Eastern Parkway, he had a building that used to be a church that got demolished. He rebuilt it to condos. The neighborhood thought they were going to be low-income rentals. I was explaining, no, they're not. I'm the listing agent. These are condos, and the efficiency condos start at $399.99, $400,000 for a studio apartment in Brooklyn. Do you know my clientele? They didn't care what I looked like. They were just like, can you get me in this $400,000 apartment? So I think what happens is we may hinder ourselves sometimes.
Right. So now if I can give you some of my experience inside of the same understanding, it just seems that the teachings prior to our evolution of professional understanding have somewhat stopped a or created a communication gap. So those same numbers that you were speaking of in the neighborhoods or the populace that we come from just don't seem to grasp those figures as realistic due to what maybe they have in their rearing. Now, part of what we do here at the Congress, I promise you, is we try to ensure that there's no limitations on what can be done. So that should open up the capabilities of what you can request so that we can, get closer to what's actually possible. Because that's the whole point. We're drawing a picture. That's basically all we're doing when we say we want things. We're drawing this picture. And as we draw this picture, little by little, we see what we're not interested in drawing. We feel how much work it is. And we say, hey, I can't draw a whole canvas. Maybe I can just draw a tree. Maybe I can just draw the road. But it's all depending on who can sit down with you to help you illustrate what it is that you're looking for. So when we come from these places that we never saw anything outside of an apartment building, to think of a whole entire apartment building being in your ownership, that is like jumping off the top of a cliff to some people. I was in a town around Charlotte expressing the ideas of expansion utilizing the capital system that we can provide. Simply just to, you can have this amount to grow what you are doing now. But when we mention the word grow to them, it seems like where they were from, that was like taboo. It was almost like a shyster or a scammer, somebody that was trying to play tricks on them. Just because we, looking like how we do, we advertise growth inside of a system that we don't have our face on. Look at it like that. So that's just an experience of mine that kind of matches up with, the misunderstanding of economy, value, and perception of life.
Makes total sense. So moving forward, and this is going to be probably a good one. And I'm going to ask this question and then I'm going to step away for a brief moment because I need to get some more water, but I'm going to let you cook on this one. So, and you've almost answered it, but I want to kind of give you a little more. So, what sets your company as the Congurus apart from others in your industry?
Other than the really difficult pronunciation, that's one of the ones that really gets everybody when they look at it. Some people put the Congress and then they're like, oh, that sounds like the government. I don't want to invest my money with the government. Stuff like that. That's just a little joke. The Congress is a direct response to what has been going on in the economy. Misinformation. In real estate, to apply is not to qualify. So that misunderstanding puts a lot of people who are in need of assistance in jeopardy because they think just because they have certain aspects or certain qualifications or certain requirements, they think that's it. We're here to bridge the gap and simply just connect the dots. What we've done is not only have we versed ourselves in different finance types that can help small businesses gain the advantage, but with this understanding, we can help individuals who are just simply buyers in real estate become business owners. We're helping with the transition of not only wealth, but we're also getting to the point where we become the most reliable source, a one-stop shop of um, high quality information, a branch to reduce market costs when it comes down to real estate, um, a a better, a more local version of accounting products, being the fact that we have to be the therapeutic financial um, interpreters inside of most of our clients' lives, help them budget. We simply try to explain to our clients where the money comes from and what they should understand from it and what they can do in the system that money is. So I believe the Congo is just based on helping everyone understand more clearly. And I believe that's how we can gain the advantage over the circumstances, situations that we're in, and otherwise. Not to stomp on anybody's toes to say they explain things better. That's not what we're here for. It's a business that we're all in and we all can provide for the clients that we have. And the service that we should do, I believe, should be, everything that they need at once. So I have you, Mr. Hall, as my life insurance guy. Whenever my clients come in with the estates, because I'm a certified estate planner, whenever they come in the estates and I notice that they have no plan, I have my guy. I'm a one-stop shop because I'm connected so well. So I would give more credit to my network that the Congress is providing, and the reason why we're a better company is because we help those who don't understand believe. If that wasn't too long and drawn out.
No, that's excellent. Listen, I'm gonna allow you complete autonomy to cook, brother. So what you're doing right now, I always say each one teach one, right? Yes. So what you're doing right now is you're reaching the masses. Everyone who's watching this now or on the playback will be able to understand, hey, these gentlemen are educating us on stuff. And there's something beautiful that you just mentioned that's very important in a lot of these YouTube spaces. So as Black men, one of the things that we mention in a lot of these spaces is that we are our own agency, right? And if you look at other cultures, especially a lot in New York City that own a lot of real estate, they do the exact same thing. When I have a deal, I do this. Now I'm going to pass you off to my buddy who does this. And then when he's done, I'm going to pass you off to my other buddy who does this. And we're all going to keep it in the family. And so that's what you and I are creating. We're our own agency, right? So when I'm done, I then pass, even though we're both into estate planning, we both also know that, for instance, certain documents in terms of estate have to be made legit by an attorney. What do I do? Well, I have in New York, I have an estate planning attorney in New York who looks like us. I also, for the people who are outside of New York, have a friend who is with Legal Shield, prepaid legal. I send people to him when my clients don't have a will and maybe at a lesser cost, they need to get some legal services. He helps them with that. What does it entail? I'm not 1,000% sure, but I do know this. Everyone that works with me, we have this thing called white glove service, where we literally hold your hand from A to B to Z. And that's our goal, because we understand that even amongst our own community, because we hear this often, well, Black-owned businesses and customer service. And I used to get upset about that until I realized that the reason Black people are so critical about Black-owned businesses and customer service is not because we're diminishing, but we expect a higher degree of service because we understand that every area that we get into, we dominate. So we expect off the rip for you to come with a higher service just because it's expected, because we know that you're better. If you will.
No, so you're absolutely right.
Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. What I, consider when it comes down to the service that I'm providing to people, I keep forgetting sometimes when you and I have discussions that the level that we're at is important. Okay, I just want everybody, I just want that to be clear. The level that you're at is very important, being that some don't feel comfortable, expressing the level that they may be in. I, for one, am a learner. right? That's one thing that I will always do. I will sit down and I will learn every day that I get the possibility. Even if you see me sitting still, even if I'm just jogging, even if I'm just like sitting reading a book, I'm trying to learn because my mind is just rolling on how I can do things better as a owner of a company. How can I
Pause 1 second.
produce a better product?
5.0,
Yeah.
5.0, 5.0. Now you know, now you know, now you know. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, not usually. At least that's just the way I go about things. I may be different from others, but like I said, I have to apologize because I have to take the level that I'm explaining things, the level that I'm portraying. Sometimes, like I said, you have to just feed people what they feel comfortable consuming. That's the bottom line. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't approach somebody with a high quality valued structure of um, in a financial vehicle if they don't even feel comfortable with the term financial vehicle. They may be
Mm.
more comfortable with the term come up or extra cash or whatever other parables that come into that same phrasing. All I'm considering is that I've learned in business, and I'll tell you this is a tidbit. The definition of the word congruous stands for harmony and balance. So that's
Mm.
another important reason why I stuck with that as a company name as well as a company structure. Because we have to balance out the people that know and the people that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then get them all in a pool together so we all can know together and make way better decisions. And that's how professionals, in my eyes, in my belief, are professionals. We provide solutions for any issue, any problem. We are just here to provide solutions. That's what our service is paid for. Some of us are better than others. That's why we can charge more. That's the case. Some of us, you can come to us and fix your whole life and we'll be friends forever. But it's
Right.
just simply about whether or not we provide the solution necessary for the client to succeed in their goals.
Exactly. So, really quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. So, Mr. Llewellyn, my next question, I've only got about 4 or 5 more questions, and then we're going to get into the good stuff that we're here as to why we're better than banks and how we can beat banks, right? What would you say, who do you turn to for business advice or help with your business? Other than me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say. So I have, been through life long enough to understand that there are people who just enjoy certain specific things. Bear with me. Specific things like, say, for instance, some people like law. Some people enjoy mechanical work. Some people enjoy medicine. Some people enjoy, the science, but not necessarily medicine. So I ensure all that we do as a company and all the answers that we get, the network that we have, we basically just give you guys the specific questions that have your industry wrapped directly into it. So all of my questions for estates and life insurance policies, I'll be coming directly to you. That's why it's always good. It takes a village to raise a child. It's not like, this is something brand new. Like we're creating a whole new wheel. The only thing we're creating is a new expression for the same exact service and system that's being provided. It's just that those who can't understand this expression, or those who can't understand the expressions that are being given by other industries or institutions, they go to other sources, and we, us professionals here, we make sure that they're guided in the right way. That's it. We dedicate ourselves to guiding and providing the natural resource of, I would say, intelligence, really, because it's an intellectual property that I have as my company, you know? So just like you're an intellectual property as well. You should have one of those stamps, those copywritten stamps on you because of what you can provide to somebody from the experience that you can laser point and give them a definition on.
Beautiful. So, um, what are the goals that you have? What's one major goal, I should ask, um, for the Congruous?
Okay.
PCP,
My
name it
next
well.
major goal is to start a nonprofit organization that will fund everyone from homeless to small businesses.
Oh
I
man, there's a guy.
feel
You know what? Uh, I'll be right back. I got to respond to a text. Give me 1 second.
take your time.
So I'm gonna let you cook for a minute while I respond to this text.
I got you. So my nonprofit organization will basically, I mean, how many different nonprofit organizations are there? It's simply that we want to help our people enjoy the same education, the same environment, the same quality of life as everyone else. So it would be much easier to take an organization that is based on that and take my expertise as well as all of my partners and my business resources and sit down and not only funnel those channels of funding and revenue and sponsorship, but also educate those on how to create the same exact opportunities. So within my nonprofit, I'm going to be teaching others how to create their own nonprofits. And with that, we'll create a family or a collective of issue driven institutions, because they will be institutions that will provide for the development of the community.
So the reason I had to respond to that text because, um, in a good way, when you mentioned non for profit, I almost wanted to throw up because there's a brother in these spaces. Salute if he's watching or if he's not watching, but a brother by the name of Rael. I've been around this space for 3 years, and from day one, when I came into this space, he said, "Bro, start a nonprofit because
Mhm.
what you're doing is teaching, and you need some money so that you can come teach. If you make that nonprofit, that will happen." So, by the way, with that nonprofit, I need you and you need me to be on each other's boards. Period.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes, we
But we're
will.
going to be on each other's boards of directors.
You know, it's weird. I keep forgetting that this is actually a platform. I feel like I'm just talking to you directly. That's why you're hearing all of the jewels. I'm gonna fall back on a little bit of jewels, and I'm gonna make it a little bit more breadcrumbs. I'm gonna do breadcrumbs more. I got you. No worries.
Listen, don't worry. I might put this live behind a paywall so the people got to pay to come get this knowledge, right? That, that's what I haven't been doing. I've been giving the
Yeah, they
information
got.
away free.
I mean, and I can't help it. Sometimes, you know what? Again, I have to apologize. Sometimes I hear your question, and in my mind, your question is like a playground. So the way I'm answering is through all of the different information portals that I hold within my mentality and my education. So it sometimes sounds like we're doing hopscotch to get to one place, but I promise I'll do the best. It's exciting. I'm sure it's a passion within me to just want to fill those who don't have the information that we obtained through our grueling times of education and experience when we was down and out having to like bang the phones, you know, when we was having to burn the clock out with lumbar support issues because you know that chair, that same 9 to 5 chair that's hurting everyone's back. It hurt my
Mhm.
back too at one point. It did. No, it did. It did. Seriously, it did. It gave me some trouble, and I was still there pulling out 12 every day.
Mm.
60 a week until they put the thumb on me to say, don't do that. And
Yep.
I had no one to structure my understanding of revenue.
Mm.
I had no one there to do that. And being that, you know, the definition of revenue, it doesn't come from what you're looking up from the dictionary. It comes from that moment. Like if you're not in business, you'll never know what the market's saying. Like when people say, oh, real estate is not the good market to invest in right now, or they say not to buy houses right now. That's because you're not in real estate. If you're in
Mm.
something, it activates when you decide to activate it because you have the information, you have the expertise, you have the specialty.
You know
Get
what's
me?
funny? Um,
I'm just saying, just from my experience, when everybody
my
says
old
the
real
word
estate
entrepreneur.
broker. Hold on, let me see if I still have my cards. Um,
Yeah.
but my old broker recently reached out, and he goes, "Hey, do you still?" I don't have my old card with me. I wish I had my old cards.
No,
Um,
take your time. Take your time.
but he goes, are you do you want to get back into real estate? Because I'm doing, I've moved from New York to Connecticut physically, and he was like, listen, I want you to get back into real estate with me. And it's funny because real estate was exciting, but for me, like you said, things only activate when you're in them, when you activate them. And for me,
Absolutely.
real estate outside of New York is no fun. But New York real estate, I definitely do. New York City real estate. So all the five boroughs, and even Staten Island, even though it's technically a borough, or Long Island,
Yeah.
I do enjoy. Um, so I may consider that. But let me continue with the question. So
Okay.
this is a good one. Do you have an exit strategy for your business?
That is a good question. I do. However, it's almost like uh, a room that I just don't go into inside of a house. You know,
Mm,
it's not a thought that ever comes into my mind ever. Like this is actually like the first time this year that I've even heard that because we never strategize to exit anything. Like
right.
we would never in anything that we've ever done it the way we go forward with it. Because remember, it's never an exit strategy or it's never a failure if you understood all of the details and aspects of the deal. It's never a failure. Because if I know we didn't do one part, if I know I was missing one point, that's what we do here at the Congress. We're very, very like tedious, yo. We're like we're digging up, we're reading through every paper back and front just to make sure there's not something that they can like switch up and change on our end. Like our negotiation tactics are it's almost like we're doing surgery. You get me? But back to the exit strategy. Um, I would literally just teach for free. That's it.
Mm.
That's my exit strategy. I would just start creating free lessons and just give them away, especially for all of the stuff that I figured out along the way that I'm utilizing to help clients discover their achievements.
Well, one thing you said that touched my heart when you were saying, it's like we're playing hopscotch to get to one spot. It isn't, right? If you look at high level performers, let's look at someone who I'm sure a lot of people who are watching right now and in the replay are familiar with, Gary Vee. Gary Vee is all over the place all the time, but is he?
There
Realistically,
you
no.
go.
Right? Vanderchuck Media, all these things. He was really all over the place, but everybody's still, and he's unorthodox, very much like me, right? And people are always like, oh, will you swear that might affect your business? Well, no, because it doesn't affect Gary Vanderchuck from being a $50 million plus business, $100 million plus business, right? And, he said something that really hit home, especially to you and I, and especially coming from our community when we want to reach all the way back and pull people up, right? So he said something that, and I think you'll take very kindly to this when I explain it to you because of the way that you and I speak. One of those questions was, why do you say, it's different from you care about your employees? And he said, well, listen, it's one thing to say, oh, I care about my employees, but it's a whole nother thing to say, it's one thing to say, do you care about your employees? Yes, I care about my employees. It's another thing to say, I give a fuck about my employees, right? Because it feels oftentimes like your company will say, like if you go to corporate America, a company, oh yeah, we're a family, we care about our employees, but they don't give a fuck about their employees. Why? Because they have you working hard hours. And what is your bonus? A pizza party. Well, you don't really give a fuck about me if you're giving me a pizza party. Give me a bonus so I can go and pay my bills, so I can go and provide for my family. Because this pizza, yes, my family can eat pizza, but if there's 20 of us and there's 19 pies, then I can't eat a whole pie to bring back to my family. Just thought I'd say that. But let me move on to the next, unless you want to touch on that.
I mean, from the position that I came in, I had grew up with a bunch of cousins, older brother, I have a younger sister, and it's like there was never like sharing, like the lesson of sharing. Like as a child, like as I see people growing up around me and I see children, the lesson of sharing is it should be a lifestyle. It shouldn't necessarily just be a lesson regarding a material or a tangible thing. And that's what I realize has happened to a lot of us. A lot of us have learned the lesson of sharing as a weapon. So now we share our information at a price. We share our energy and our attention at, expense. People share products, goods, services, all of this stuff. So it's just simply confusion coming from the not understanding the differences between, what you're being taught and what you're actually living. Because you have to learn from your experience. No one can teach you that. No one can teach you how to learn from your experience, or no one can teach you how to live the life that you're given. So it goes both ways when it comes down to those who are teaching. They're teaching one way so it can work for them. So it's up to us, because we're the ones that are like expanding in the universe to like reach out to different stars and get information. We have to send back the information to those who don't understand, but we have to guide them and help them get through it. That'd be the best way, for all of us to go. Because this is not gonna work for it just to, stuff ain't gonna be built with just one person, sir. That's all I'm saying.
So exactly. Hold on really quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule a one-on-one appointment with a licensed financial professional, currently at my expense, the links are in the description of this video. Also, if you'd like to get in contact with Mr. Llewellyn or the Congruous, his links are in the description of this video. So please make sure you share this out to your people. Oh yeah, brother, listen, I ain't gonna leave you in the lurch.
Nah, I do.
Listen, no thanks needed, bro. But you know how much business you've said. Listen, you know how much business we've done over the years and how many things we've gotten tangled up in, man. Listen, me and this brother have gone over millions, tens of millions of dollars of things.
I have to speak to the respect of the platform that you've created and you've dedicated your time to create these people that you have, your village, your community. Like we have to really give you the hand for this. Admiration is necessary.
Thank you.
One thing that we probably all seek in our lives, and we don't understand. We all seek validation, and that's only because of how we were reared. We weren't reared to have the same. Trust me, I had my aunt actually was the one who told me that. She taught me about validation, and when she told me that one point, I kind of sorted out all of the partners who were just looking. They weren't looking for the deals to close. They were just looking to look good in the deal. We reduced the amount of those inconveniences, so to speak.
Understood. So I guess two last questions, because we've almost been going for an hour already, and it doesn't even seem like it. So two last questions. First one.
No one likes watching. No one likes learning for that long.
Right. What would be the favorite part of having your business?
being able to tell somebody that I'm going to get it done and I can actually get it done. And like, there's nobody standing in my way. There's no like manager or there's no policy that stops me from allowing someone to recoup the understood or, the desired necessities. That's what really like makes me wake up and like get on the computer and start making phone calls.
Beautiful. And then last question before we go into the nitty gritty fun stuff. See, this is what we got to do. I'm gonna put this behind an hour-long paywall, right? And then when we finish, I'm gonna chop the video up. And
I wanted you to chop it up. Please just cut out the filler of where I had the technical difficulties and the issues of getting it smooth. Because now that I got it, like I feel like I'm in the studio right now. Let's go.
Oh yeah, man, this is definitely where it's at. So then the last thing would be, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to start a business? Oh, did we freeze? I think we froze. That means he got a phone call. Like I said, the money never stops with us. Give me 1 second here.
Take your time.
Okay. I just got some news that my CRM has been deleted. So such is life, but that's why I keep my own.
Sorry to hear those tech issues. Sorry to hear those tech issues.
Yeah, that's pretty frustrating.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I need way more practice with these. Like this is, these you're the only one I do. I get on this service with. So there's a lot of nuances that I got to get, like, background and like setup and, because I want everyone to know how prestigious the professional that is hosting this is. You get what I mean?
Thank you.
I apologize. I will tighten up. Trust me. Give me like another week and then we'll have another discussion, another talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then
we're going to be a regular on the show, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I may even change the name of my channel, and I'll tell you what I'm going to change that to behind the scenes, and I think you would enjoy it. So again, for the last question, what advice would you give someone who's looking to start that business? And here goes the brother of the hour I was talking about when you were talking about the nonprofits. This is the brother who's been for the last 3 years telling me, hey, man, you need to start that nonprofit. Stop playing and start that nonprofit. Come on, man, start that nonprofit. So that's coming up, brother. And brother LLewellyn,
I think we're gonna have to start splitting the chat. We got to start splitting the talks up because we have to have a business conversation and then we have to have a client conversation just for everyone, right? Because I got, the business jewels is about to drip out, and I'm trying to keep that, So we're gonna have to figure something out.
You see, you say I'm gonna be on your neck until we do it. And he has been. Listen, every single time I talk to this brother, so you doing that nonprofit? What's up with the nonprofit, man? I'm telling you. And then he's telling me, he's like, listen, I know you like to teach, right? So you can be getting big checks while you teach, so you don't have to worry about the money. And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. So let's get into this because I want to share one thing really quick that is able to show us why we are better than banks. So give me 1 second here. This is an estate planning quiz, right? Are you able to see that? Let me make this a little larger here. Okay, so I'm going to take both of us off.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is an estate planning quiz. And this is something that I ask most of my clients, and it's simple yes or no when we're going through the process, right? I'd like to leave instructions regarding what decisions to make in the event I become incapacitated due to an accident or terminal illness. 11 times out of 10, people say yes. Now, in my experience, right, I've noticed that I obviously speak to it from, leaving your insurances and your stock portfolio or your retirement accounts. But one of the huge things in the Black community about generational wealth, America in general, but specifically I'm talking to the Black community, is real estate. However, we don't always know or learn how to do those things. So that's one of those questions that I think a lot of people need to look at. And that's something that's going to be better than a bank, because I have friends who work at JP Morgan Chase Private Client. And unless you're a net worth of $5 million, they don't have that conversation with you. We are having this conversation from a net worth of zero if you need, so that we can bring you into that realm of where we are, right? If I show you, I'm going to pull up here in a second, the first listing that I ever had. Right? And I don't know if I showed this to you, but let me pull it up anyway. And unfortunately, I never sold that particular property. Hold on, let me see. Here we go. I never sold that particular property, but that's because, unfortunately, at the time,
trust me.
Well, I knew nobody who had the money for this. So if you'll see, this is 899 to 907 Fulton Street, right? Now, if you look at it today, it's still listed. So not only did I fail at selling it, but other, highfalutin tootin' agents failed at selling it. 899 right. Fulton Street in Clinton Hills. So this is close proximity to the Barclays Center. Now, I know you're a little more familiar with the Bronx than Brooklyn, right?
Yep.
But you know Brooklyn as well. So if you'll see the asking price when I got this property in 2017 was $14.6 million. Okay? Now, if I go to Google,
love to hear those numbers.
I'm going to Google 899 Fulton Street right now. Right? And if I go to 899 Fulton Street, let's take a look. Okay, here we go. In Brooklyn, 899 to 907 Fulton Street. Okay, it's not advertised on LoopNet for one reason or another. So they don't even have the estimated price for this. I want to see if they have this particular property listed somewhere. That's LoopNet, that's Street Easy, that's Compass, that's Yelp, that's Trulia, Property Shark. So this is another app, and I'm just going to pull this up because one of the things as professionals, right, you'll see a lot of YouTubers who use an app called PropStream, right? And I'm like, well, that's like dunking on someone at the YMCA, right? And guess what? PropStream costs the same amount as Property Shark. Property Shark gives you full information.
Connected.
Right. Property Shark, now I'm using the free version right now, so it's not going to give me all the locked information, right?
No, I understand.
But Property Shark costs exactly the same as PropStream, but it will give you full reports, right? So just like I have the rent roll and everything, it will give you that. And it's the official app that, or the official software that licensed realtors tend to use, right? I can't believe, so the last time I saw this property listed, it was listed by Marcus Millichap, and it was about $7 million. So now it's not even listed for sale. Okay. Oh, wait, $6.5 million is now the price. Oh, it sold 5 months ago. Hold on. It just sold 5 months ago. So hold on. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share my screen just so people can see. Where is it?
Yeah, I'm just answering some messages real quick.
Yeah, no problem. So as you'll see here, right, this mixed use property located in New York sold for $6.5 million. The deal closed 5 months and 23 days, or 5 months and 25 days ago. Right now, if I stop sharing and I'm going to reshare my screen so that you guys can see, I had it listed at 14.6 million. Right, same property, 899 to 907 Fulton Street. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely are going to go into further why we're better than banks. But you know what I think I want to do, Mr. Llewellyn? Because we've been going a little over an hour.
Talk to me.
I think we should pause here.
Yes. And then you know what's weird? I've been getting so many messages from this. I was just about to say, sir, a lot of people are starting to hit me up and like ask me questions. So let's help them out.
Yeah. So let's do this because, you know, I need to actually take some phone calls myself. Yeah. Let's pause here and then let's do another one. Yeah. Because I think what I'm going to start doing, if you don't mind, is maybe have you be a co-host. And we maybe do this once a week.
I enjoy anything that promotes our community and our people and getting them to the next level, education-wise as well as financially.
Well then, you know what we're going to do? We are going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go Kevin Samuels on them. To the FBI, found, what is it? Feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. To the CIA, confident, intelligent, and assertive.
Yeah.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. And we are gone.